Welcome to Television Sydney News. I'm Bianca Martins. It's great to have you with us. In this week's bulletin, bikie gang members to comply with a new dress code in Liverpool, a local mayor encourages people to think about organ donation, and exhibitors create a buzz at Castle Hill Show. But first, Prime Minister Gillard toured Western Sydney this week, making policy announcements relating to roads funding, fighting crime, creating jobs and developing skills. The Prime Minister started and finished her tour at the University of Western Sydney, beginning with a speech on Sunday and ending with an International Women's Day address on Thursday.
I've had quite a week. It started here and it's finishing here, so what could be more appropriate?
She dismissed claims that she was only meeting with supporters, saying meeting with voters was part of her everyday life.
My average day, every day, whether I'm here or whether I'm somewhere else in the country, is that I would speak to many, many people.
On Thursday, she attended an employment expo in Liverpool, an area which traditionally has higher unemployment rates than most of Western Sydney. She announced Western Sydney would be one of the locations of a $1.5 million innovation hub, creating jobs close to where people live. Next stop was Penrith, where she launched the local digital economy strategy. Earlier in the week, she called on the state government to come up with a plan to link the M4 to the city and said she would provide up to $1.5 billion in funding when an appropriate plan was available. Opposition leader Tony Abbott also ventured out to the west this week with visits to Lumia, Mulgoa and several other areas. Western Sydney is home to some of the most marginal seats in New South Wales and is expected to be pivotal to the September 14 federal election. There were some protesters who ambushed the Prime Minister in front of her hotel during the week.
Tell me gangs aren't in other suburbs, love, because they are. They're everywhere. Go out to Cabramatta. See the crime out there. Open your eyes.
But there were also plenty of locals happy to see Miss Gillard and eager to broach the important topics like which footy team she barracks for.
Can we consider your visit today to Bushwick Community Centre as a heads up, thumbs up and support to the Bulldogs? Go the doggies!
I knew from the middle of that press conference that you were a very cheeky person.
Bikie gang members must comply with a new dress code when entering some licensed premises in Liverpool. No colours signs are to be displayed after members of the Liverpool City Liquor Accord opted to support state government legislation. Liverpool Licensing Officer Sergeant Gillian Gibson says police are encouraging pubs and clubs to come on board. But Ray Stewart from John Edmondson VC Memorial Club says the club has had the policy in place for 22 years and has never had problems with bikies. Liverpool's Mayor Ned Manoon will donate one of his kidneys to his seriously ill 1.5-year-old son. Solomon Manoon was born with one faulty kidney and spends almost 10 hours a day on dialysis. Councillor Manoon is now the ambassador for South Western Sydney Local Health District's Donate Life Week. He says his son's illness made him change his mind about organ and tissue donation, and he's encouraging people to talk to their family members about it. Blacktown Council has started demolishing the former Riverstone RSL to make room for the redevelopment and expansion of the Marketown Shopping Centre. The council owns the shopping centre that the former RSL building backs onto and is planning on giving it a $25 million facelift in order to increase the number of shops and parking spots. The demolition works are expected to take 5 weeks. The council is proceeding with the rejuvenation project despite the state government's plan to build a rail overpass on Riverstone's main street, Garfield Road. Business owners and some Blacktown councillors say the overpass will devastate the Riverstone town centre. Riverstone Schofield's Chamber of Commerce President Anthony Belcastro says the overpass will cut the town in half with an arterial road connecting Windsor and Richmond roads. A Quakers Hill resident believes women deserve a day off from work to celebrate sisterhood and the milestones achieved for women's rights. Juliana Nukrama is an African community worker and a passionate advocate of women's rights. She says International Women's Day on March 8 has historically been the day to highlight the situation of all women in work and to advocate for changes that would bring equal rights.
It's natural to work with women, especially when in the wider society, the voices of women are muffled and women have to struggle to have a place.
International Women's Day is celebrated as an official holiday in 27 countries, and in the United States, the whole month of March is recognised as Women's History Month. Originally from Ghana, Miss Nkrumah was made a member of the Order of Australia this year for her significant service to the community, the welfare of women and refugees.
You need to be able to hold up the voice of one who doesn't have the ability to have their voice heard in anything. And that is why I work with refugee women, so that I can bring their voices out.
She credits her culture and education as the main drivers of her passion for empowering women. The massive expansion of Narellan's shopping centre is worrying some councillors in neighbouring Campbelltown. They believe tripling the size of Narellan Town Centre threatens MacArthur Square in Campbelltown and Campbelltown's status as a regional centre. But Camden Mayor Lara Simkoviak and Narellan Chamber of Commerce President Stephen Grabowski disagree. They say the rapid growth in the area demand bigger and better local facilities to cater for the increasing population. Campbelltown councillor Fred Borg maintains a second regional shopping centre is unsustainable and wants his council to express its concern to Premier Barry O'Farrell. Blacktown Pony Club is celebrating its 50th birthday. Riders aged 4 to 24 have competed successfully at zone and state level competitions in events such as dressage, show jumping and mountain games since the club began in 1963. Members nominated the club's chief riding instructor, Marilyn Curry, for a New South Wales Volunteer of the Year award. Mrs Curry joined the club in 1984 when there were only 4 members. There are now up to 70 members, including 40 active riders. 17-year-old Caitlin McWhirter is one of them.
I absolutely love just working with the horses and meeting new friends. It's an unreal experience. You just can't get it with any other sport. It's something so different.
Blacktown Pony Club members meet on the first and third Sunday of each month. A call has gone out for volunteers to care for puppies before they graduate as trained detection dogs. The next set of volunteers could be looking after offspring by Chuck, a German Shepherd who made a name for himself after sniffing out one of Australia's most wanted fugitives, Malcolm Naden. Dog Unit Acting Commander Adam Johnson said some of the dogs would go on to become trained in drug, explosives and cadaver detection. The New Look Wiggles have held a special performance at Parramatta Westfield. The Blue Wiggle, Anthony Field, was joined on stage by his new bandmates Lachlan Gillespie, Simon Price and the first ever female Wiggle, Emma Watkins, as they presented their newest dance moves and songs for their little fans. Watkins replaces former Yellow Wiggle, Greg Page. Although it might seem she has a big skivvy to fill, the 23-year-old says it is the perfect fit.
I used to watch Greg when I was little, so I'm an original Wiggles fan. I'm 23 and it's the 22nd year of them now. So I guess, I just go along with what I remember.
Watkins has toured extensively with the original Wiggles group, performing as the bubbly fairy Larissa on the Dorothy the Dinosaur show, and also as Dorothy, Wags the dog, a wiggly dancer and a ballerina. She says she was shocked when she was asked to play the role of the Yellow Wiggle.
I thought that when Anthony spoke to me, I thought that he was telling me that it was going to be over and that we would all, not be working anymore. So I was a bit shocked. And then he was like, actually, we're starting a new group and we were wondering if you'd like to be the new Yellow Wiggle. And I was like, whoa.
The Wiggles have been singing their catchy tunes like Mashed Potato and Fruit Salad for 22 years. The group create their shows at their studio in Bella Vista. And in sport, the NRL season returned this week and the Parramatta Eels are gearing up for their first game on Saturday night. Coach Ricky Stewart says he and his team have been like little kids waiting for Christmas, counting down the days until the official season gets underway. Stewart says the pre-season has been superb from a training perspective and the challenges they have faced off it, such as the tragic passing of Johnny Manor, has only strengthened the team's bond. He says the team has a big physical forward pack and plenty of spark out wide. While many describe 2012 as the season the Eels would rather forget, Stewart says he wanted it to be etched on the team members' memories. He says he didn't want to disappoint supporters again, and remembering last season should be a great deterrent from performing badly this year. The Eels will play the Warriors at Parramatta Stadium at 5:30 p.m. Saturday night. At just 23, netballer Amorette Wild is excited to be preparing for her 5th season with the New South Wales Swifts. Wild, who grew up in Bosley Park, was a member of the New South Wales Waratahs team that won the Australian Netball League in 2011. The talented goal attack and goal scorer says she's looking forward to the season ahead and that competition for places in the starting team is keenly contested. The Swifts play West Coast Fever in their opening game at Sydney Olympic Park Sports Centre on March 25. The Western Sydney Wanderers will be hoping to etch out a new A-League record on Sunday when they attempt to win 9 successive games against Wellington Phoenix at Parramatta Stadium. The competition new boys went to the top of the A-League ladder last weekend with a 1-0 victory over the Central Coast. Confidence is at an all-time high within the Wanderers squad, and fan favourite Yusuf Hersey will be hoping his team can continue their impressive winning streak.
It's good for the club, first year, and you get directly the Girl Cut. So yeah, for us it's as well good because we get more confidence as well. But yeah, we look always to every team like how we can win games, and the Girl Cut is amazing if you get that.
Hersey has played a key role for the Wanderers this season, scoring 5 crucial goals since making his debut and moving down under from playing top-flight Dutch football.
I get a call from Western Sydney with the agent, and then I came here to try out, and coach likes me, so he gave me a chance, an opportunity. And I'm thankful for that because I was 2 years fighting for 2 years for my knee.
Hersey's tale is a common story at the Wanderers, with the bulk of the squad previously unwanted by other A-League clubs. But the Wanderers have proved their doubters wrong and are now favourites to win the championship in their first year. The Sydney International Rowing Regatta and World Rowing Cup is just over a week away, and 15-year-old Penrith High student Max Dugnan has been training hard. The under-17 New South Wales rowing champion is looking forward to representing the Penrith Rowing Club at what will be the biggest event in his rowing career so far.
It's quite a wonderful coincidence, being kind of feeling like a peer or kind of rowing near and next to the best rowers in the world. It's wonderful.
It will also be a monumental year for rowing in Australia, and the significance of the World Cup being held in Penrith is not lost on the Mount Riverview team.
Penrith is a beautiful place. It's got beautiful rowing complexes.
The regatta runs from March 18 to 24 at the Regatta Centre in Penrith. And finally, Chris Kidd is hoping to create a buzz at the Castle Hill show this weekend with his honey. So far, his best result has been second.
This frame shows the bees laying down some very nice fresh honey. It's quite a light honey, and they're laying it down and capping it.
Mr. Kidd has 400,000 bees to take care of, but still finds time to be the show coordinator of the Parramatta Amateur Beekeepers.
At the Castle Hill show, the Parramatta Amateur Beekeepers Club will be running their stall. At the stall we have the exhibits in the competition from all our members, probably 50 different exhibits of honey, wax, mead and cakes.
Judges look for the obvious, like no sugar or dirt in a honey jar.
When judging honey, what we're looking first of all for is the colour of the honey. It is graded into these different classes here. It is then judged upon its flavour. It's also judged on its density, and we judge the density by turning the jar upside down and timing how fast the bubble rises to the top of the jar.
Castle Hill Show started on Friday and continues until Sunday at Castle Hill Showground, where there will be plenty of activities for the whole family. That's all for this week's bulletin. For more information on any of these stories, pick up your local Fairfax community newspaper. I'm Bianca Martins. We'll see you next time.